Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We're trying a new temporary camera mount here. It's got a little bit better angles, I think. It needs to be like 3 inches taller, which is just not going to be the way it clamps. Maybe I'll figure something out later. It's really hard when you're doing the Face U camera, the selfie camera, because it's really hard. It would be better if I had it about 2 feet further away with the reverse view, so I could do a little bit of zooming, and it would make it easier for me to do the look at the screen and look at the camera. I'm so close right now, you can see me looking at you, you can see me looking at the screen, and you can kind of tell the difference. It bugs me, like it just bugs me in somewhere in the brain programming. Speaking of programming, I'm going to go ahead and talk about dog poop, because it's such a cultural weirdness. I'm enjoying the beach, by the way. Fun. I just walked a mile and a half, and it's great. It's fantastic. I am a Westerner, and I'm going to jokingly say that Western civilization, the entirety of Western civilization through all of history, only exists in the last 150, 200 years west of the Rockies, or at least west of the Mississippi. There's a gradient. It's not a hard binary line, but west of the Mississippi, it starts becoming civilization, and then once you get to, Arizona, Wyoming, western Colorado, it becomes actual civilization, Western civilization. It applies in Canada, too. Once you hit, what is it? I think it's Alberta? I know Whitehorse is civilized, even though it's not like what most people think of as civilized, but it intellectually, spiritually it is. And then, BC is mostly civilized. Weird, but I'm gonna run with this. It's kind of a joke, not entirely, but it really does seem to be true enough to make the joke. So, dogs. I think that dogs are important companions, basically functionally symbiotic with humanity. That's how they evolved or developed with humans. And so having dogs around is important. Having dogs in public is important. Having dogs as part of your public space, your third space, your workspace, everything is important. I am a pro-dog person. If you don't like that, deal with it. Not everyone is cut out to own a dog or care for a dog or be full-time symbiotic with a dog. But most people who don't own dogs actually end up enjoying dog company. There's very few people who just flat out hate dogs, outside of certain religious programming, which I'm not going to get into right now. All right, I think this county guy is done backing up repeatedly. I don't know why he kept backing up and going forward, but I can roll my window back down. It's a little bit stuffy if you don't have the windows down. It is, according to my thermometer, 73 degrees, and it's still winter. Yay, this is awesome. We'll see what summer looks like. So dogs are important. And in the West, I'm used to some sort of reasonable accommodation for dogs in society. Like there's accommodations. You have to kind of mix things together. Okay, there are places where you shouldn't have dogs, like a restaurant kitchen. Outside of the restaurant kitchen, probably should have that dog. They're actually very useful, but in the kitchen, probably not. There's stuff like having a dog in Walmart. If you've got well-behaved dogs that go with you to go shopping, Walmart, Safeway, Fry's, what's out here, Publix, Sprouts, Whole Foods, having a dog with you should be normal. And it should be that your dog is a normally socialized, trained animal, a part of society. They are symbiotic with us. They've been part of society for thousands and thousands of years, longer than we've had society. And so there should be some general behaviors, general civilization. stuff that goes on. Like, your dog doesn't try to bite people, your dog doesn't try to bark at everybody. You know, if the dog alerts or does bark, that's because there's something wrong, not because you're a crazy person who has an angry dog, which is actually more common than you think. And in the West, it seems to go pretty well. There's a lot of places out west just don't have problems with dogs. It's really common for restaurants to have dog water bowls. You may sit outside. By preference, you'll sit outside on a patio, weather permitting. And, you know, there's service dog laws and service dog rules, and people just sometimes just ask you, is that a service dog? Cool, yeah. On the East Coast, the only place I've ever had someone tell me that it wasn't a service dog unless I showed them at the cash register his registration paperwork and tags and licensing. I've had that happen a couple times, and it's actually illegal to do that. Like, not lawful, not illegal like you're going to jail, but it is not lawful to do that. It's not a requirement. You can't demand that. It violates various statutes. But I've had that happen. And of course, you know, everyone who has a dog has a fake service dog thing because, well, that's just how it goes. Except it's not fake all the time. And dogs do a lot of service work, so whatever, have that argument yourself. It works out in the West. Most people with dogs pick up the poop. They have off-leash training, but they have leashes, and they're on leash most of the time. You know, it's one thing to be off leash when you get out to the golf course, the park, municipal golf course after dark park. When you get out there and you have the moment, to go run and stuff, and then the dog goes on leash, and you walk the dog down the sidewalks and stuff. That's normal. That's the West. The East is not the same. The northern parts, like the mid-Atlantic and the Tidewater and even into New England, it's not completely anti-dog, but there's a lot less. Those are the places where I've had people yell at me. I had a lady. This was Newport News, Hampton. Newport News or Hampton. One of whatever. They're conjoined cities. And it was at a seafood place, and it was just absolutely unbelievable. I walked in, we tried to order and sit outside, and she's like, I'm like, yes, he's a service dog, I just want to order and sit outside. She was demanding the text. She was yelling and screaming, literally yelling and screaming. And so we just left. I left a review. I called the manager. I said, I'm leaving this review. Did the whole thing, and they're like, yeah, she's been told she can't yell at customers about this anymore. It's hard on us because we know we're not allowed to ask, but people just assume. And I'm like, it's not hard on you. You just don't have cashiers that scream at people before they can order their food. Like, wow. So the Deep South, the cultural difference is extreme, okay? And now Florida's weird because it's a combination of Deep South and New Jersey boomers. That's another video I have to do about how I never understood the boomer thing. Like, I have never understood the lol, get off boomer, go F yourself boomer, okay boomer. Like, I never really got it, okay? Boomers, in my experience, are like, you know, retired military people from San Diego, Arizona, Montana, Nevada. There's a cultural difference, and it's not the same. And Florida has a lot of New Jersey boomers, and they are a different species, a different animal. They are selfish and entitled and just generally hate people, don't trust people. It's very New Jersey, very New York, very, wow, the cultural difference. I get the boomer thing now. And it's largely has to do with traffic and drivers and opinions and behavior in stores of the older North Mid-Atlantic accent. I don't know, you know, the Jersey Shore accent, the Brooklyn accent, the accents, the Philadelphia accents. There's like 7 of them. Um, there's those accents. You can hear those accents, and you're just like, your body, you're somatic. You know what's coming. You're like, we're all people. We all have roles to play. We can make the connection. You can stop and be like, yeah, vibe with it. But I definitely understand the boomer thing. So there's a combination of those social norms, that pre-civilizational urban barbarian kind of thing, and the Deep South, which is barbarian. Not really. It's tribal barbarian. I don't know what to describe it. These people do not pick up their poop. They think that picking up poop is offensive to human nature. They think that leashes are an offense to God. It's just insane. It's how bad people are with their dogs. No training. So I have neighbors. I have one neighbor, very close neighbor, who has a small dog. The dog is like a 12-year-old male, very friendly with my dog if the owner's not around. The owner insists that if I'm there, if a female is with my dog, it's not a problem. But if I'm there, this old guy insists that his dog is unfriendly to other male dogs, my dog specifically, and grabs his collar and gets them all. He's just like a little rat terrier. That's what he is. He's a little rat terrier. Not like, he is one. And so, whatever. He has a leash sometimes. He doesn't have a leash other times. You know, he tries to let him off leash in the morning. And if we run into each other, the dogs run into each other, I just stay in the background and let it play, and they do fine together. Look at that! Now I have the resort people cleaning up their own mess. I guess I'm just going to close the windows for the moment. The resorts are really funny out here. They're great. They're running. It's spring break is getting ready to start, and they're getting everything ready and doing all their work, and it's just fantastic fun to watch. So the other neighbors, they have 3 dogs. The dogs don't have collars, don't have leashes. They have nothing. The training that they have is, Floyd, get back here. Floyd, what are you doing? Floyd, where are you going? Oh no, Sprouts, don't jump. Sprouts, don't jump. Stop jumping. Sprouts, jump. Like, they've got 3 dogs, and they're completely out of control. And they're not very happy with the dogs because the dogs think I'm their person when they see me. But then they're completely untrained. They have no recall commands. They have no sit. There's nothing. Complete nothing. They're just completely feral house dogs. And they get out, and they go out, and they just poop everywhere. 2 of these are 45-ish pound dogs, and the third one is a small, long-haired dachshund, so, you know, it's hard to find the poop. I try to pick it all up. That's what I'm doing. I'm picking up poop for 3, 4, 5, 8 dogs, because there's the back neighbors, and then there's the pit bull. They keep the pit bull on a chain outside. She's really friendly to people. She's iffy with dogs, and she is just on a chain. There's no fences. There's no nothing. She has shade, so that's good. It's just... And this is not just my neighbors. I go out and I watch. And this is how people are with their dogs out here. This is the Deep South dog thing. The dog parks are actually bad. Like, I've never been to a dog park where there's dog fights, like, as a regular rule. And the dog parks here are really bad. There is a specific dog beach in a specific town that does not have that vibe, and they have a morning crowd that is people who are dog people. The poop gets picked up. They bring a community water jug. They don't complain about people drinking water. The dogs get to play. run in the water. It's all very good. The dogs are socialized. The people are socialized. A lot of people with dogs out here are not very well socialized. It's weird, and it's just completely uncivilized. I think he's gone. It's uncivilized. It is crazy how the concept of picking up poop is foreign. Like, no one, like, if I go pick up the poop, they look at me like something is wrong with me because it's dog shit. You should just leave it. That's what you do. And I'm like, well, no, I have to walk to the trash can. I have to walk around my yard and the driveway and the little gravel alley for the cottage complex. It's not really an apartment complex. It's all a bunch of cottages. And it's so bizarre. I now understand why Florida, as a state with the government, is so unfriendly towards dogs. Now, I break all the rules all the time because I have a well-socialized dog and I know how to pick up poop. You know, if I go find a quiet beach that the tourists don't use, I'm going to let my dog run around. I understand the risks of contamination, but I'm dealing with a 15-pound dog and I'm capable of picking up the poop. And he does have a recall. He doesn't go run off into the dunes and start eating tortoises or anything. Like, he will stay with you if you tell him to. This is not that hard. It doesn't seem that hard. Dogs are symbiotic, but they're you have to train them. If you ever want to know about deep South child rearing, it's kind of the same. Get frustrated and hit things, and then give no orders, no training, that's basically how they treat the dogs. And wow, I have been through this. Now, it's not that this doesn't exist in the West. There are subcultures in the West, and there are socioeconomic cultures in the West where dog behavior is not great, and it's not what you think. It's actually it's not what you think, but there are different groups that don't do very well with their dogs. But it's not endemic. It's not the norm. It's not standard. It's not, and they know it's not standard. Like, if you get people who don't treat their animals properly, well, socially, whatever. I'm not trying to be moralistic, but if you get people who don't have the capacity or patience or cultural training to acculturate their dogs, to enculturate their dogs, then in the West, they seem to know that they're not in a good position with regards to the rest of society and dogs, and they don't go, take over the dog park with poorly trained animals, bad animals, whatever you want to say. Here they do, and it's really bizarre. And so the state hates dogs. There are no dog accommodations for anything anywhere, and it's like pulling teeth. And it really is like pulling teeth to get a dog out of your house, and the licensing laws and everything, and in the poorer neighborhoods, or I don't know how to describe this. No one cares until it becomes a problem. I cannot believe the dog poop is just amazing. It's just amazing, and it's everywhere, and no one cares. And wow! So that's all I'm going to say about that. The dog poop is central to my developing understanding of the differences between Western civilization, which grows as you get further west of the Mississippi, and pre-civilization, which, I've been in Europe and the Middle East for years and years and years, and I always considered that pre-civilization too, and I consider the East Coast to be bizarre and tyrannical. Pennsylvania has a privilege tax for having a job, an employment privilege tax, literally an employment privilege tax. stuff like that all over the East. And so I've kind of always held this view, but the dogs really set it off for me. So that's it. Stay sideways, and thank you for listening to my rant.